So there was a 2-day court hearing in the summer where Alina took an appeal to the Court of Appeal to ask that the buffer zone be removed in Ealing so that help could continue to be offered to women in need. And the court case was an absolute disgrace. Not once in the process of the hearing were women who'd been helped by the vigil mentioned. There was not one single word dedicated to the women who'd been helped. Alina was sitting there in court. She wasn't mentioned. The fact that she had accepted help from the vigil was not mentioned by anyone. You could read that report and think that not one single woman had ever been helped. In reality, hundreds of women have been helped. Hundreds of women have been grateful for the help that has been offered by the vigil, but they have been completely ignored by the process. So that's after deciding what to do after that crushing judgment, Alina has now decided to take the final possible step, which is to take the case to the Supreme Court.
Okay, well, from the beginning, this has been a learning curve for all of us involved in this campaign, and a real eye-opener as well, because I used to think that if those people that were campaigning for the buffer zone, who oppose us, and the presence of any offers of help outside the clinic, I used to think that if they understood what was actually happening, if they had met these women, if they knew the women as we know them, and there are hundreds of them, but their stories are absolutely compelling and powerful. So I did think that because they talk in terms of women's rights and women's choice, and they frame their argument in a very potent kind of language of caring about women. So I had thought that if they knew them, if they met them, that there would be some meeting of minds, and they would realise that actually what's happening, what being offered to women outside the clinic is completely vital. It's being offered to women who really are not finding this help anywhere else. And so it's been crushing for all of us to realise that this is effectively just a sham, this talk about caring about women's rights, because these women have been made invisible, and they've made great efforts to avoid these women's stories. We've had to fight very hard to centre the stories of women like Alina and many, many others like her. It's been an uphill struggle all the way to get their stories centred. And when you know these women, even though it's been crushing to meet this opposition and these losses that we've had, we have no choice but to carry on. We can't. What do we do now? Turn away from these women? That's really not an option for us now. So in all the difficulties that we've encountered, it has been really heartening to be working with Alina, who has been she's as bold as a lion. I mean, she is a single mother. She's in really difficult circumstances, and it's difficult to be public about the kind of situation that she has found herself in. And so when we're working with her, well, how can we say, we want to take a back seat? We have to keep going. And I know that it's given Alina a lot of heart, that there's been so many people out there. We had no idea that she had this much support. It's been so phenomenally encouraging. And we are just so grateful that you keep on supporting her, that there's people out there that keep on showing her that they are, by their support, they are urging her on. And I know that has really helped her. She needs us. We really need to show her that we have her back. We can't leave her exposed to carry this burden by herself.